Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're doing well. Today I want to talk about something very simple, but something that I think a lot of people overlook, and that's peaceful moments. Not big achievements, not major life milestones, just small, peaceful moments that happen quietly in the middle of a normal day. Because if you look at the world right now, life feels very loud. There's always something happening, another news update, another opinion, another crisis somewhere in the world. Your phone lights up every day constantly. Messages, notifications, headlines, arguments, and before you know it, your mind is absorbing all of this noise. Even if you try and ignore it, it's still there in the background. And over time, that constant noise can make life feel heavier than it actually is. It can make it seem like the world is only chaos, only pressure, only stress. But the interesting thing is, if you step away from the noise, even for just a moment, and look around at your actual life, something different is usually happening. There are small, peaceful moments all around you. Moments that, are easy to miss. Moments that don't make headlines, don't come up on your social media, but moments that quietly remind you that life isn't only chaos. Sometimes peace is very ordinary. It might be sitting outside for a few minutes when the air feels calm. It might be a quiet walk where your mind finally slows down a little bit. It might be the feeling of finishing something or a project you've been working on a moment when the day begins to settle and the evening becomes quiet. These moments are small, but they matter more than people realize. Because your nervous system needs them. Your mind needs them. When you experience peaceful moments, even very small ones, your body receives a signal that says things are okay right now. You're safe. You can relax, and that signal helps reset the nervous system. The problem is that a lot of people move through life so quickly that they miss these moments. They move from task to task, from screen to screen, from one thought to the next. And the mind never really pauses long enough to notice the quiet parts of life. So, one thing I've been thinking about recently is the idea of sharing peaceful moments. Not in a performative way, not in a way where you're trying to present a perfect life, but simply noticing and appreciating the small moments of calm that already surround us. Because when you start paying attention to these things, something interesting happens. Your perspective begins to change. You start to realize that even in a noisy world, peace is still there. It's just found in smaller pockets. It's found in ordinary places. It's found in everyday life. For example, it might be a moment in the morning when the house is quiet before the day begins. It might be a moment where you're drinking your cup of tea or your cup of coffee and nothing urgent is happening. There might be a moment when you're walking somewhere and the world just feels still for a minute. These are peaceful moments. They don't look dramatic, but they matter. And the more attention you give to them, the more they begin to shape how life feels. Because your mind tends to focus on whatever you repeatedly notice. If you constantly focus on chaos, the world starts to feel chaotic. If you constantly focus on stress, life starts to feel overwhelming. But if you start noticing moments of calm, moments of quiet, moments of peace, and being present, your mind begins to recognize that life also contains those things. Another important thing about peaceful moments is that they don't need to be long. Sometimes people think peace means escaping life completely, going on a long retreat somewhere or taking a long holiday. And those things can be great, wonderful, but peace doesn't have to be dramatic. Sometimes it's just 5 minutes. 5 minutes where nothing is demanding your attention. 5 minutes where you step outside and breathe fresh air and just take it all in. 5 minutes where you sit quietly and allow your mind to settle. Those small pockets of calm are incredibly powerful for your nervous system. They give your brain a chance to reset. They remind your body that it doesn't need to stay in constant alert mode. And when you start building more of those peaceful moments into your life, something changes. It really does. Internally, it changes internally. You feel more grounded, a little less reactive, a little less overwhelmed. Your mind is no longer absorbing only noise. It's absorbing quiet also. And quiet is incredibly important for mental health. Another thing I've noticed is that peaceful moments often happen when we slow down enough to actually experience life. Modern life encourages speed, faster communication, faster productivity, faster everything. But peace usually appears when the pace slows down, when you walk instead of rushing, when you sit instead of scrolling, when you spend a few moments noticing the environment around you, the sound of the birds, of the wind, the quiet of a room, the feeling of the day settling into the evening. These things are simple, but they reconnect you with a present moment. And the present moment is often much calmer than the thoughts in our head. Because, a lot of stress comes from thinking about things that haven't even happened yet. The future, possible problems, possible scenarios. But when you come back to the present moment, life often feels more manageable. Right now, in this moment, things are usually okay. And peaceful moments help bring your awareness back to that place. They remind you that life isn't only about solving problems or chasing goals. Life is also about experiencing the small, quiet parts of being alive. And those moments deserve attention too. So something I've been encouraging people to do recently is start noticing your peaceful moments. They might be very small, but they are there. Maybe it's a walk where your mind slows down. Maybe it's sitting quietly at the end of the day. Maybe it's a conversation that feels calm and genuine. And whatever those moments are, notice them. Let them happen without rushing past them. Because those moments are where the nervous system recovers. These moments are where the mind resets. And these moments are where life feels a little lighter. And when you start collecting those peaceful moments throughout your days, they begin to add up. They really do. They become anchors, small reminders that life contains calm as well as chaos. So if you're someone who has been feeling overwhelmed by the pace of the world recently, try this. Look for your peaceful moments, not the big dramatic ones, just the quiet ones. And if you feel comfortable, share them. Because when people share peaceful moments, something beautiful happens. It reminds others that peace is still there too, even in a noisy world. And sometimes that reminder is exactly where someone else needs. Because peace doesn't always come from changing the entire world. Sometimes it comes from noticing the quiet moments where that were already around you and allowing yourself to experience them fully. Thanks, guys.